Good morning, the You Are Enough group. How you going? Steve Barker coming to you live from Wagga, and another gorgeous morning. It's going to be about 28 today, they say, so really looking forward to it. It's going to be a beautiful day. So I thought I'd come online and just talk to you and say, first of all, apologies for not being around. I've been really busy, and last weekend I was volunteering, helping run a youth development workshop, which went really well, and the people who were in it were beautiful people and managed to take a lot away. I got some great feedback and content on what they're going to take away and learn, and we'll see whether that comes to fruition when they come back in 7 weeks time for their actual leadership camp, so where they'll actually being leaders. So it'll be great to see how that molds and develops. But what I've come on this morning to talk to you about is language. Now, this sort of cropped up as a few times now whilst I've been working with clients, in that if you can't language something, you can't have it. And that's really strange when you think about it, but the concept, let me explain how it sort of came about. I had a client who was finding it difficult to forgive somebody for something, and because of this they were really struggling to be able to give forgiveness. And I said to him, so what does forgiveness mean to you? And they started to stumble, and they started to really question what it was. They couldn't get any words to come out of their mouth to describe what they wanted to say. And it was at that point I suddenly realised, morning Brenda, that if you can't language something, you're not able to have it. It's the same as being hot. If we didn't have a word for hot, you wouldn't be hot. You couldn't be hot. There was no way to describe it. And just like this person, they were unable to give forgiveness. Now, when I said to them, why is this? And they said, well, I just can't forgive what's happened to me. I just can't forgive those who've wronged me and stuff like that. And I said, okay, so let's look at it from a different perspective. If you were to be able to forgive these people, how would you feel? And then all of a sudden, a whole plethora of words came out, such as freedom, lightness, happiness, they mentioned the word unburden, which is the word that I'm going to use to really describe this. And all of this language came out. As soon as I said, how would it make you feel if you were able to forgive these people? And very quickly it dawned on the individual that I was talking to that it wasn't about forgiving them, it was about unburdening themselves. So can you understand what I'm saying? They were carrying around all of this frustration, this anger, this resentment within themselves, but to be able to forgive these people would unburden them, would be able to get rid of the frustration, the resentment, and the constant thinking. So the great thing is that it's not a case of sometimes forgiving the other person, but unburdening yourself. So can you see how when we started to explain and describe and open up the language around forgiveness and around the feelings for that individual, it suddenly became much more apparent that they were then able to unburden themselves. So they were doing themselves a justice, a favour, by being able to forgive those who had wronged them. And whether it's a case of whether you forgive them or whether you're just unburdening yourself or you're letting go of it, that person was then able to do it because they had the language to be able to do this. So what I'm trying to get to is if you have something that you're struggling with, if you're unable to really language what it is that you're struggling with, look at the feelings. Ask yourself, how would this feel if I was to be able to achieve X, Y, and Z? How would this feel if I did this? How would this feel if such and such happened? And use those words and those describing feelings to be able to language what it is that you can't have. People say to me, I want to be successful. I say to them, what's success? And they come up with lots of money. I'd like to be able to drive around in a nice car. I'd like to be financially free. What does that actually mean? What does that mean? And when I get down to it and I say, so how would that feel if you were able to do that? Oh, that would feel like this, and that would feel like that, and I would be able to live life without any burden. I would be happy. I would be free of spirit. I wouldn't have any concerns about money and things like that. So for them, those are the real meanings of success. The actual nuts and bolts of how to do it can then come, because you can work out what you're going to do to be able to feel that. You've done this before. You've been able to recognize a feeling and then aspire to it and do something about it. So if you can language it, you can have it. If you can't language it, you can't have it. I hope this has been useful for you. Please put your comments down below. The group's closing in on 5,000 new members, so please feel free to share this with your friends, invite them to the group. If we can get past 5k by the end of October, that would be amazing. But yep, I hope this has served you and it's been useful. All right, I will try to do more Facebook Lives, I promise you, but time constraints and everything. Yeah, I'm a human being as well, and I know we say everybody's got 24 hours in a day, but you know, it's prioritizing and everything else. I'm sure you know where I'm coming from, but I will certainly try to make a bit more of an effort to do more Facebook Lives giving you content like this. All right guys, I hope you have a wonderful remainder of the week, and I look forward to hearing your comments, hearing your thoughts on that languaging. If you can language it, you can have it. If you can't language it, you can't have it. And if you can't language it, try bringing in some feeling into the matter and using words like that to be able to language it, and then you can start to build on it. Oh, very good. Okay, speak to you soon. Take care. Toodaloo. Bye-bye.